Hey everyone, it's Ollie from Mashup Games, and welcome back to the series where I go through the development of making my first big game in Unity. The game is a medieval fantasy tower defense game where you build your dungeon defenses to fend off waves of heroes. Last video, we had added a room capacity system, a game over screen, a couple new heroes, and fire. And since it's now 2021, it's a new year of development, so let's get into what's happened since then. Now if you're new here, hello and welcome! But for those who are not new, you've all got to know the game under a different name, Fantasy. For some time now, I've not been very happy with the name, for it was always meant to be temporary and I didn't think it suited the direction the game was going in. I got the name by combining fantasy and siege, which by themselves doesn't really convey the charm or personality of the game. So I mulled over it for a very long time, and now I'm very happy to reveal to you the new name for this game. Fantasy is dead. Long live Cardallion. I came up with the name Cardallion while brainstorming at the end of December. Since the game is now mostly made of cardboard and craft materials, I wanted this to be present in the title, so I thought of using the word card in there. I chucked around names related to the idea of the gameplay and combined them to get names like Card Sword, Card Fight, Card Raid, Paper Siege, and Card Hoarder. And then somehow I came up with Cardallion. I had wanted it to be a combination of the words card and battalion, as it really depicts a game where you build your own cardboard army. And even though battalion only has one L in its spelling, I found it sticking really well. And if the spelling annoys you, just think instead it's a combination of card and medallion. So now we got the big part out of the way, let's get on to some actual game changes. Now a lot of people in the comments section has been asking, can you see what heroes will spawn in each wave? Now this was definitely something I was always planning on doing, but now that I actually have got round to doing it, let me show you how it works. So between the rounds, you get this cardboard UI on the upper right side of the screen, and it shows you who's coming into the dungeon in the next raid. Each type of hero has their own symbol, as shown here, and it tells you how many of that hero is spawning. Right now, the spawning of those heroes during the raid is random, but it should still show you the total. You can click the start round button here, instead than where it was initially at the top of the screen, because let's be honest, that looked really ugly. Then it disappears off the screen when the raiding starts. It looks good, but I do find it clutters up the screen quite a bit, so I will most likely add a tab to open and close it in the future. Also, while I was reworking the UI, I also decided to redo the time controller, which I think looks a lot better and looks like it actually fits as a UI in this game, which is pretty cool. Now that I had the actual game logo done and decided, that meant the main menu needed changing. Goodbye, this is a game. You served well. Previously, I wanted the logo to look like a sticker on the cardboard wall, but now I've thought of something cooler, which would also allow for a bit of dynamics to the currently static menu. I imagined the logo to swing in like it's tied to a couple of ropes, so I set up some hinge joints and added a little animator to bring in the logo, and ta-da! The logo comes in and swings a little, which I think looks really cool. Now the real question is where to have it. It originally was here, but I personally like having it at the front and centre, because it looks like you're watching some kind of puppet theatre. Oh, and I also added some GUI text in the bottom left to tell what version of the game is running, as well as the Unity version and the platform it's being played on, just because I felt like it. Now I could have tried fixing the archer animations next, because it's a little broken, but well, I didn't want to. So procrastinating one task for me usually involves doing another one, and that task was adding a new minion. The goblin and the skeleton are cool, but in terms of gameplay it's a bit boring to only have two types of minions. So let me introduce you to the slime. I absolutely adore this slime creature, not only because I've been playing a hell of a lot of Slime Rancher recently, but also because I get to show you just what sort of ideas I have. Not all minions will be simple cardboard cutout planes, but they will take different shapes and sizes too, just like how this slime is also cardboard box. I originally wanted the slime to completely stick to this feel, but in game it didn't look that amazing and I struggled a little with selling the slime look with just a simple sprite wrap texture. So instead I decided to make the outside box transparent and add a little opaque cube in the middle to actually sell the sliminess texture. Do you like this, or do you think I should try and improve on the first method? Let me know down below. Anyway, with this addition of the slime, it meant I got to try some fun new attack method. When the slime gets attacked and dies, it splits into two like you normally see in games. Then they can split into two again, which in case one big slime can result in 4 small slimes without any effect on the room quantity. I also have a lot more ideas I want to introduce to the slime's attack behaviour, but before I do that I will need to completely redo the whole minion levelling system, and while I'm not ready yet to implement it, I do have a good basis for how I want to do it, and I look forward to describing it to you in a future video. So now we're far enough into Cardallion development that there are a few systems existing here and there, and while some of them seem pretty resolute, there's a lot that needs reworking. So right now the enemy placement system works with placing enemies from the deck, which is fine by itself, but then what about player actions? Well, for the fire I had to basically recreate the enemy card system, which wasn't very optimized. And so I decided to, for probably the first time ever in my programming life, use interfaces. So every enemy card, enemy, player action, and soon to be traps now use the interface iPlaceable, meaning they have their own methods for being picked up and placed. This allows each player action to perform a certain effect on placement, or an enemy to be picked up again. Basically, I did all this so I could be able to move about minions, as a whole lot of you have suggested in the comment section of the last video. It may be a little overkill for just that reason, but this overhaul does mean I will be able to work on certain things better and quicker in the future. And if I was keeping the old enemy leveling system that I had made, this would solve a big problem with it, as it no longer means that your weakest enemy would be always closer to the boss and then your strongest will be at the front. Instead, you can move them about so each enemy can get leveled equally. But like I said, my enemy leveling system is going to be scrapped and replaced with something new in the future, but this is still a very nice feature to have. And that's about it for this devlog. There's not been that much development since the last video, mostly due to Christmas and adjusting to a work schedule, but now I'm back on it and properly planning out what I want and everything. But I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I really hope you like the new name Cardallion. I'm sorry for those who had become a little attached to the Fantasies name, but unfortunately it had to change. If you want to join the conversation on this game, then join the Mashup Games Discord server if you want. And if you've liked this video, then please like and subscribe, it really helps the channel out. This is Mashup Games, signing out.